welcome back to my channel. So today is the 11th and that means it's embellishments on the 11th. This month I started off making paper flowers. So as you might have seen if you've watched some of my previous videos, I made these flowers last month and that inspired me to get making some different styles. My stash was running a little bit low. And I sort of needed everything from some quite large ones down to some of the smaller ones. So I made various different styles and I've made little tubs with the different styles in. So these were some of the ones that I've made, and it's really hard for me to get it to focus in on how pretty these ones really are. I'll see if I can take some photos and pop them on at the end. But these I made with just some white paper. Pink paper. I sprayed them with some Lindy's Stamp Gang spray. I think this is Alpine Ice Rose. But I left it quite splotchy. Once that was dry, I shaped them just using a nail dotting tool. And then I've just gone over them with a little bit of gesso over the top just to knock back some of the brighter pink. I've popped a little pink half flat back pearl in the centre, very pale pink one, and then I've put a little bit of glimmer dust, very ultra fine glitter all over the flowers. So that was the first ones that I made. I made some of these ones. I made some in pink and I made some in white. So again, I made some of these last month, but I had actually used all the ones that I'd made. So I made a few more in the pink and aged mahogany. And then I made some, they're not quite the same because it was a slightly different die cut. But similar, but I made those in all sort of creamy off-white, and again just put some little bits of glimmer and glitter just on the edge of the petals, and I've used ivory stamens in the centre of those. That's those ones. I made a tub of these, so these are really nice for using as little filler flowers, and I've got a little plate die that cuts loads of these all at once. And I just give them a really basic shaping with the dotting tool, and then just stick a flat back in the centre. Now the last lot I did were all done with the iridescent white centre, because they are really useful because they sort of go with everything. But then I thought actually it might be quite nice to do some with some coloured centres as well. And then, I'll have some to go with various different projects that I've got. So again, these are really simple and easy to make. But, I've made a great big ton of them because I use these lots, like I say, for filler flowers, just to fill in those little gaps and spaces once you've got your main flowers and your foliage in. I also made some of these, and these are really pretty, again sort of shabby chic looking, and I used, I don't think I've showed the technique for these actually, so I'll perhaps have to do a video on these ones, but these ones I've made with white or ivory paper, and I've used some spun sugar ink, oxide ink in the centre of the flowers, and then they've got little pink stamens and then the flatback pearl centres, and I've got different sizes in these flatback centres, so I was able to use a different size centre depending on the size of the flower, which is nice because they all sort of coordinate and tie together, but everything's sort of size appropriate depending on the size of the bloom that you've made. So I made those, and I made these ones. Now these were just, I'd got some paper flowers that had come in a kit. They were just like the flat flowers in a kit, and I just shaped them, added a little bit of ink to the edge of those, and then just added some centres in. So you don't have to have a die cutting machine or a punch. You can just buy the petals from the craft shop, and then shape them and colour them yourself to make them your own. So these ones, I've just put glittery resins in the centre, and again some stamens, and then these ones have just got a like a flat back button thing in the centre of those. This is the same thing. These were made with ready done die cuts from a pack that I got in a craft pack one time, and again I've just shaped them. I shaped these ones using the loop tool, the spot remover. This one's just from Primark, but you can pick them up from AliExpress as well. So the larger flowers I'll quite often use these, and the smaller flowers I tend to use the dotting tools for. So again, I've just inked around the edges a little bit, and stuck a coordinating gemmy in the centre of those. They're really pretty. I made a little set of these purple and lilac ones. So I've just inked with a lilac around the edge of the white petals, and then the centre ones I inked the whole thing with a darker purple, I think it's Seedless Preserves oxide, and then I've gone over that with a bit of glitter, and I've put purple stamens in the centre of those. And then my last flowers that I made were these, they're almost like sort of daisies. So all I did with these ones was I took the petals, and I just took my pokey tool, and each petal I just folded it up round the pokey tool, and I've then glued 3 layers, you know, in smaller sizes, decreasing sizes. I've stuck a gem in the centre, and then I've just, where the glue sort of squidged out as you've pressed the gem in, I've just dropped a little bit of yellow glitter, but it's like sugar glitter, so it's not too shiny. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it, but it's got a really pretty sort of spring yellow to it. So that was all the flowers that I made, and then I thought I would make a few little animals as well. So I picked up in the works, I picked up these wooden bunnies, Easter bunnies. So I'd still got some of the flocking left over from that my daughter made from when she did her little reindeer at Christmas. So I have flocked them with her homemade flocking, and I've put the little pom-pom on. Let's see if I can bring the light down a bit more. Put the little pom-pom on the tail, and a little on the smaller ones I've made a bow out of baker's twine, and then on the larger ones they were some bows that I got from the pound shop last year from the wedding section, and then I've put little tiny gemmies for their eyes, little black ones, and then before I actually flocked them I coloured the noses in black marker, and then just went over them with a little bit of glossy accents and left them to dry before I actually flocked the bunnies. So these are still just slightly bit damp, so I'm just being a little bit careful with them. So if there's any places once it's completely dried, so like the bottom of his foot's there's just a little bit bald, I will just go in and put a little bit more glue on, and I can just top up the flocking. But if you do it before it's properly dry, the next layer of glue just pulls off the previous layer of flocking. So yeah, you've just got to be patient, which is difficult for me because I'm not the most patient person. So they're quite cute. Little Easter bunnies. They'll look nice on little Easter bags or something. I also made some pink flamingos just because I like flamingos. So I made some little pink flamingos stood in their little puddles, and I've just cut those out of pink paper. I've layered a piece of thin chipboard in between 2 layers of pink cardstock just to make them a little bit sturdier. Inked around the edges in picked raspberry and inked the legs so that the legs are just slightly darker, and then I've put black glitter paper on for their beaks, and then I've cut the wings out of pink glitter paper, and then I've just layered some pink marabou feather behind that wing there, just to give them a little bit of something extra. So they're really cute, I love those. And then the last thing that I made was some butterflies and some dragonflies. So these were the 3 dragonflies that I made. So all of the dragonflies and butterflies I made in the same way. So I started off by making a sheet of patterned paper. So I just took a sheet of white paper, just like sketchbook type paper, and I just inked it with various different pink inks from the Distress Oxide range. I've then sprayed that with a little bit of water so that it oxidizes, and then I've splattered it with a little bit of a pink shiny paint that I'd got and a little bit of Tipp-Ex, just to give it that variation and the splatters that are on there. And where I coloured on the back of, I sort of trialled colouring on the back of one of them in black to sort of finish off the back, it actually bled through a little bit, but I really liked the effect, so I did it on all of them. So that I've got a little bit of darker sort of patination coming through in places as well, and I really like that. And then I took some black graphite gems and just stuck those down the top of the centre of the body there. So that was my dragonflies. And then my butterflies, I did 2 different sizes. I did the little tiny ones, and I did some bigger ones as well. And like I say, these have been done very much in the same way, so it's using the same backing paper, but all I've done is on the smaller butterflies I have coloured in a couple of little bits. I've picked out a couple of little bits in some glitter pen, and I've heat embossed the body, and then I've snipped off the antennae and I've stuck in some little black glass glitter flower stamens in on there. On the butterflies I have used the whole of the body, including the antenna, but I have put gems all down, so black gems all down the centre and on the top parts, and then the clear gems down there just to break it up a little bit. And I've gone over the body of this one with Wink of Stella just to give that one a bit more glitz and glamour. On the small butterflies I've put the gem on the centre there, and then I've done a little bit of glittering just on the top half of the butterflies. So that's what I've made for this month's embellishments on the 11th. They're okay, I don't mind them. I like some of my flowers, I like my flamingos. Some of the other stuff I'm not quite so keen on, but it's okay. I've had fun making it. I've been struggling a little bit with my inspiration the last couple of weeks. I've been sort of struggling to make myself come in the craft room a little bit. I've been crocheting more than I've been actually crafting, but obviously I needed to get some things made for this, so that's why I started with the flowers, because flower making is something that I can usually do even if I'm not feeling all that inspired. But yeah, the other things didn't quite, other than the dragonflies and the flamingos, the other bits didn't really turn out the way I'd sort of envisaged in my head, but I thought I'd show them anyway, because sometimes I think it's good to see the bits that people aren't as thrilled with as the bits that they're really proud of, because I think we all are there sometimes, aren't we? We all sometimes will make things that we really love, and other times we will make things that we're perhaps not quite so keen on. So anyway, those are the things that I've made. I will try and remember to pop some photos on, although it is getting quite late now and I need to go to bed because I'm at work in the morning. So I will try and take a few photos, and then I will get this video uploaded ready for tomorrow evening. I will be back again later in the week. I've got a card to make, and I need to do Mother's Day cards as well, but I will probably do those next weekend. And then I will be working on some other collaborations for the week after that. So hopefully my inspiration will come back and my mojo will come back, and I will want to get back in the craft room and make some more goodies. But until the next time, I'll see you all again very soon in the next crafty video. Bye for now.